You can absolutely make your car last over 500,000 miles without a major overhaul. Sound hard to believe? The reality is that 92% of drivers are quietly killing their engines every day without knowing it. This video is your car's survival map, revealing 10 habits used by long-haul drivers, mechanics, and million-mile car owners to keep engines outlasting the car itself. And pay special attention. Habit number 8 is something every mechanic hopes you never figure out. If you find this information useful, comment number 1 to let me know. 1. Warm up the engine smartly. Many still believe idling the car for 10 minutes in the morning is the best way to warm it up. But with modern engines, this habit not only wastes fuel, but also silently causes harm. Idling too long lets excess fuel wash away the oil film on cylinder walls, causing metal parts to rub directly and wear faster. The right way is to start the engine. Let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds to allow oil to pump and lubricate the system. Then drive gently for the first 5 minutes. This ensures even oil flow, warms the engine, and gets other components like the transmission and cooling system to their ideal operating temperature. It sounds minor, but this habit alone can add tens of thousands of miles to your engine's life. If you want your car to stay smooth after hundreds of thousands of miles, this is a must-do. And best of all, it's completely free. Just change how you start your mornings. 2. Use the right oil and change it early. The engine is like your car's heart, and motor oil is the blood that keeps it alive. Yet, many cars die young because owners use the wrong oil or change it too late. Every engine has a manufacturer-recommended oil type and viscosity, from conventional to semi-synthetic to full synthetic. Using the wrong kind is like taking the wrong medicine. Damage builds quietly over time. And don't trust a 10,000-mile change interval unless the manual explicitly says so. Most experts recommend 5,000 miles for conventional oil and 7,500 miles for synthetic, or even sooner in dusty or hot climates. One often overlooked factor is the oil filter. Don't skimp on a cheap one. A low-quality filter can collapse, letting oil bypass filtration and causing rapid engine wear. By choosing the right oil, changing it on time, and using a quality filter, you eliminate one of the top reasons engines fail early. 3. Stick to a strict maintenance schedule, but read the manual first. Many think taking the car to a shop based on the windshield sticker is enough, but it's not that simple. Each car model and engine has a unique maintenance schedule, and you won't know it unless you read the owner's manual carefully. It details when to replace the timing belt and fluids, and how normal versus severe driving conditions affect intervals. If you drive short distances, sit in traffic, carry heavy loads, or travel dusty roads, you'll need maintenance much sooner than standard. A great tip is to keep a log or use a maintenance app. Track the date, mileage, and tasks done. From oil changes, radiator flushes, spark plugs, and belts to transmission and brake fluid. By staying one step ahead of problems, you not only save on repair costs, but also keep your car running like new, even after hundreds of thousands of miles. This is the secret behind cars that surpass 500,000 miles. If this tip saves you a ton of money, comment number 2. 4. Keep the cooling system clean. Heat is the #1 enemy of an engine, and the cooling system is the only defense keeping everything in a safe range. Yet, many drivers only think about the radiator when the temperature gauge hits the red zone. Coolant doesn't just lose effectiveness over time, it can turn corrosive, causing rust and forming sludge that clogs pipes. Every 2 to 3 years, flush the entire system and always use the exact coolant type recommended by the manufacturer. Mixing different types can create a thick mud that blocks the radiator. Don't overlook a small but critical detail, the radiator cap. It maintains stable pressure to prevent coolant from boiling over, and a single failure can lead to engine overheating. Replacing the cap every 50,000 miles is a cheap investment for long-term safety. Just one overheat can cost you 50,000 miles of engine life, a price too high for carelessness. 5. Drive smoothly like a classic car. When you see a vintage car running as smoothly as the day it was made, many assume it's because old cars were built tougher. But the real secret lies in how the owner drives. They understand that every hard acceleration, sudden brake, or sharp turn leaves a mark on every mechanical component. Over time, these marks add up to serious damage. Smooth driving doesn't mean crawling along. It's the art of controlling speed and force on the car. Instead of flooring the gas when the light turns green, accelerate gradually, giving the transmission and engine time to sink. When approaching a red light or stop, ease off the gas early, letting the car slow naturally before braking lightly. This saves brake pads and rotors, reduces wear on the suspension, and cuts fuel consumption significantly. Another overlooked point: avoid pushing the car at high speeds for long periods, especially before it reaches optimal operating temperature. For example, hitting the highway and flooring it right after leaving home is the fastest way to shorten engine and transmission life. Metal components need to expand evenly, and oil needs time to circulate and lubricate every part. Every mechanical shock is a hit to your car's lifespan. Classic car owners drive as if handling fine porcelain. No jolts, no twisting, no forcing. That patience and gentleness keep their cars running like new for hundreds of thousands of miles. 6. Don't neglect air, fuel, and cabin filters. Many drivers think replacing air, fuel, or cabin filters is just about keeping things tidy and doesn't affect the car's lifespan. But in reality, these three components are like the car's lungs and immune system. Neglecting them lets dust, debris, and contaminants quietly destroy the system from within. The engine air filter ensures clean air enters the combustion chamber, free of dust and particles. A dirty filter makes the engine breathe harder, reducing combustion efficiency, wasting fuel, and leaving carbon deposits on pistons and valves. Replacing it on time drastically cuts the risk of power loss and future damage. The fuel filter is the gatekeeper for the fuel injection or diesel system. Fuel always contains impurities, rust from the tank, or sediment over time. A clogged or weakened fuel filter reduces fuel pressure, clogs injectors, and overworks the fuel pump. This not only burns more gas, but can lead to repair bills in the thousands. The cabin filter, while not directly tied to the engine, keeps the air you and your passengers breathe clean. A clean cabin filter makes the AC system more efficient, reduces strain on the blower motor, and prevents musty odors. In dusty or polluted areas, it also protects your lung health. The key point: replacing these filters is a low-cost task compared to the damage caused by neglecting them. The problem is that many wait for symptoms before acting, and by then, it's often too late. 7. Take care of the transmission, the silent killer. In the world of cars, the engine is often called the heart, but the transmission is the circulatory system that delivers power to the wheels. The problem is, most drivers focus on the engine and neglect the transmission until it whines, slips, or worse, fails completely. By then, the repair bill could buy you a used car. Transmissions, whether automatic or manual, operate in harsh conditions. Inside, hundreds of mechanical parts mesh together, spinning at high speeds under pressure and heat. Transmission fluid is what keeps everything running smoothly, lubricating, cooling, and cleaning the internals. But over time, the fluid degrades, loses viscosity, gets contaminated with metal shavings from wear, and stops protecting like it did originally. The biggest mistake many make is waiting for symptoms before changing transmission fluid. By the time you feel slipping or jerking or hear odd noises, damage has already happened. It's like waiting for a heart attack before seeing a doctor, often too late. The solution is to stick to a strict transmission fluid change schedule, typically every 40,000, 60,000 miles for automatics, or sooner if you tow heavy loads, climb hills, or drive in hot conditions. Always use the manufacturer's specified fluid, OEM spec, as each transmission has unique requirements for viscosity, additives, and heat resistance. Using the wrong fluid is like giving the wrong blood type to a body. Beyond fluid, the transmission filter and pan gasket also need checking and replacing during maintenance. A leaking gasket or clogged filter reduces fluid pressure, leading to faster wear. Remember, a transmission never dies suddenly. It degrades mile by mile, shift by shift, day by day when you skip maintenance. That's why I call it the silent killer. If the engine is why you love your car, the transmission is what keeps that love moving down the road. Don't wait for a spine-chilling whine to realize you've neglected it too long. Do you agree with this? Comment G if you do. 8. Use fuel injector cleaner correctly. Fuel injectors are the gatekeepers of engine power and efficiency. They spray precise amounts of fuel into the combustion chamber, ensuring a perfect air-fuel mix for smooth, economical operation. But over time, dirt, carbon deposits, and contaminants build up on the injector tips, clogging them or disrupting the spray pattern. The result? A sluggish car, worse fuel economy, engine vibrations, or even a check engine light. The problem is, many drivers blame weak performance on spark plugs, air filters, or bad gas, overlooking the injectors. That's why fuel injector cleaners exist. But here's where mistakes happen. Some use cheap, substandard products or overuse cleaners, causing strong chemicals to corrode rubber seals and damage the fuel system. My rules are clear. 1. Only use cleaners from reputable brands that meet OEM or SAE standards. 2. Follow the dosage instructions exactly. Don't add a bit more for extra strength, as too much can do more harm than good. 3. Use periodically based on mileage, typically every 5,000, 10,000 miles for daily drivers. If you drive short trips or start the engine multiple times a day, shorten the interval. Beyond tank additives, there's also professional injector cleaning with a machine that connects directly to the system for a deep clean. This is usually needed for older cars or severe clogging. Clean injectors optimize combustion, reduce emissions, save fuel, and restore that snappy throttle response like a new car. But if you let them stay dirty, you'll slowly lose power without realizing until a hefty repair bill hits you. I once had a customer with a pickup over 200,000 miles, complaining of weak performance and poor gas mileage. After one proper injector cleaning, the truck gained noticeable power, responded better to the throttle, and saved nearly 15% on fuel. So, the question is, do you want your car to feel powerful and efficient like it did on day one, with just a few bucks and 30 minutes of care? If the answer is yes, don't skip this habit. 9. Keep the battery and charging system strong. The battery and charging system are like the electric heart of your car. You can have a full tank of gas and fresh oil, but if the battery is weak or the alternator isn't working right, it's all just theory. Your car might struggle to start, lights may flicker, electronics could act up, and one cold morning, you'll be stuck with a dead car in the garage. Many think the battery only matters when the car won't start, but the truth is, a battery starts weakening long before you notice. Every time you run the AC, headlights, or heated seats, or charge a phone, you're draining its energy. If the alternator doesn't recharge properly or the belt slips, the battery will slowly die. To keep your battery and alternator strong, I always recommend 1. Check the battery voltage regularly, both when the car is off and running. A healthy battery holds about 12.6 watts at rest and 13.8 watts at 14.4 watts when charging. 2. Clean the battery terminals to prevent salt or corrosion buildup, a silent enemy that causes poor contact. 3. Ensure the alternator belt is properly tensioned, not cracked, and not slipping. 4. If the car sits unused, use a trickle charger to keep the battery fully charged, avoiding deep discharge that can kill it. One thing many overlook: extreme temperatures are a battery's enemy. Batteries can fail suddenly in freezing winters or scorching summers. I've seen cars in the US, just 3 years old, start fine in summer, but die instantly on the first cold winter morning. The alternator needs checking too. A weak alternator can't keep a new battery charged. Signs include the battery warning light, headlights dimming when revving, or a squealing belt. I once helped an Uber driver whose car died mid-shift due to a bad battery. After replacing it and tightening the alternator belt, his car ran smoothly for another 150,000 miles without needing another swap. Treat the battery and alternator like the car's bloodstream and heart. Keep them strong, and your car will start reliably every morning, rain or snow. The question is, do you want your car to let you down at the worst moment, or stay loyal with every turn of the key? 10. Listen to what your car is saying. Many think a car is just a lifeless machine, but in reality, it's always talking to you. The question is whether you're listening. A clunk, a squeal, a strange knock, these are all signals. A small noise today could be an early warning, but ignore it, and tomorrow it might become a 4-figure repair bill. For example, a faint squeal when starting the car in the morning. It could be a loose belt or a dry pulley bearing. A clunk from the wheels when turning. Maybe a worn tie rod or bearing. A slight burnt smell after a long hill climb. It might be overheated brakes or transmission fluid leaking onto the exhaust. Every sound, smell, or vibration is a message from your car. When driving, turn off the music a few times a week, roll down the window, and pay attention. Notice the engine sound when accelerating, the transmission's feel when shifting, or the rumble over potholes. If something feels different from yesterday, don't tell yourself it's probably fine. That's the most expensive phrase a driver can say. In the US, I once worked on a customer's pickup truck. The owner mentioned hearing a faint rattling under the car for 6 months, but thought it was just loose items in the trunk. Turns out, the drive shaft was about to snap, risking a serious accident at high speed. If he'd brought it in earlier, the fix would have cost a few $100s. Waiting until it broke on the highway cost him over $4,000 and a week without his work vehicle. Listening to your car isn't just with your ears. Watch the temperature gauge, oil pressure, or voltage readings. If the needle or warning light behaves unusually, it's time to check. Don't wait for the check engine light to panic. By then, the problem's already serious. A pro mechanic's tip: when you hear an odd noise, record it or take a video right away. This helps you describe the issue accurately to a mechanic, saving diagnostic time. Your car is always trying to tell you, "I'm doing great," or "I'm struggling." If you listen and act quickly, it'll serve you faithfully for hundreds of thousands of miles. But if you ignore it, one day it'll respond with the silence of a dead engine in the middle of the road. So, the question is, when was the last time you truly listened to your car? With just 5 minutes a week and zero cost, you can spot early signs of your car's illness before they turn into nightmares costing thousands of dollars. Observing, listening, and checking regularly helps you avoid major damage, extending the life of your engine, transmission, and entire system. This is the smartest investment any car owner can make. No special skills or expensive tools needed. So, out of the 10 habits you just learned, how many are you already doing? Share your experiences or personal tips in the comments. Your story might help thousands of others. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like to let me know you care and subscribe to catch more secrets for keeping your car strong, durable, and efficient every day.